Jesus was never dead. Jesus was never rose from the dead. It symbolizes the Christ, Jesus Christ. Christ is Christos, which means oil in Greek.
Because I don't want you looking within and finding that divine spark that you have to the Creator yourself.
If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Wow, seated at the right hand of God. God is your consciousness, your invisible intelligence between the two hemispheres. The right hand of God is the right hemisphere. Seek the things that are above the heart. Love, intuition, expression, and wisdom.
The wake up is, I exist. I am.
That is correct. That is a very true statement right there. I am.
This invisible intelligence is known as the mind. But you are not the mind. You are the observer of the mind, which is the soul. This is why you say, my name is Harry. You are not Harry. You are the I, the inner self, the intelligence.
You know, if you look within, you'll find that divine connection. You'll find that divine spark. I think it's within everybody. It's just we've been convinced that, you know, we're sinners and we can't do this ourselves. We've got to wait for someone else to come and save us.
The reason why you see God is always a triad is because it represents yourself. Your invisible intelligence is God. Me and you are the same invisible intelligence.
Basically ways to keep people trapped and so that they can't actually connect to God, because the only way you can do that is through yourself. There's no outside party that can. You have to go inside, which you can do through meditation.
Nothing exists outside of you, because I explained in the beginning how you are the consciousness experiencing the central nervous system. Therefore, there is nothing outside of you. It's all internal. Jesus and Satan have been externalized. Why? Because it's business. The church is a business. It's all a business.
I'd like to remind people, it starts with the stupid Bible. I don't agree with this book. I never could. I never read it really because I felt it's wrong. It says, I came, I created. That is the first big lie. I cannot be in a swimming pool and tell my wife I'm creating the house and lawn and the swimming pool. I'm swimming already in it.
So there are not many present moments. There's only the space of this moment. So there's what happens in it, and there is the space in which it happens, and that space is consciousness. And that is who you are.
When you close your eyes for long periods of time, you will figure out you are this invisible, infinite, creative being. I can't describe what it is, but it's the voice inside of your head that you can feel when you close your eyes. You are this being inside of the head, heaven, because this is heaven, this intelligence.
Because consciousness cannot become an object to itself, it's the eternal subject. The I am that I am of the Old Testament, where when God is asked for his or her name, God says, I am that I am.
I mean, here it looks like the ground goes up and that the tracks go together, when we know these aren't true. The human eye's vanishing point shows us a visual reality that is not always objective.
Thinking with love, expression, intuition, and wisdom to others. Heaven is even. This is why Jesus is pointing at the heart chakra, always pointing at the heart. Earth rearranged his heart, because in earth you're manifested as a physical being. You're in the heart, good and bad. You need to be balanced between the good and bad. Because love can be a demon too. That's a whole nother video, but love can be a demon. When we live our life within the higher parts of the body, this is considered heaven. For example, your higher self, this is intelligence. The higher intelligence is always speaking to you. It's always guiding you. It's always telling you the right thing to do. You can feel it. When you're doing something wrong, you can feel that you're doing something wrong. Speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil. This is the astronauts. They're Freemasons, but they understand this. Because thinking, seeing, and hearing can corrupt your mind. And when you have a corrupted mind, you'll have a corrupted subconscious. The subconscious will manifest into the body, because 90% of your behavior comes from the subconscious mind. They have greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth, pride. They want all of this. And if you want that, that's okay. But deep, deep down, you don't want that because your soul is always telling you the right thing to do. Your soul knows what to do to get out of here. It needs to detach from the external world.
Most people don't live as if this were true. They live as if the opposite almost were true, as if the future moment were more important always than the next one.
A holistic perception. So, for example, if you're in a woods, the right brain sees the whole woods as one big woods. The left brain is breaking that perception down into individual trees, branches, and leaves. So the left brain's to do with duality. The right brain's to do with wholeness. We need the left brain. We need the right brain. I'm not saying any of them's bad. But the left brain, sinister in Latin, means left, which is you here. You would be in this invisible intelligence right here in the center of the brain. This is why the ancient Christians show God is in the brain. This is the brain stem. This is the brain. This is also the brain stem and the brain. It's all depictions of the brain because the brain's the computer, which decodes the demands created by the invisible intelligence, the I. But if you observe someone walking, the body's moving, but the thing telling it to move is the invisible intelligence. Res is Resh, which is Hebrew. The early Hebrew Resh symbol is the head. Resh, erection. Erection is a sexual stimulation. Resurrection is rise erection. You got to raise your sexual energy up the base from the spine to the head. And this is the resurrection of Christ. It can regulate all the blood. It can regenerate the body. And this is the true Antichrist. They don't want us doing this process. The Antichrist is not against Jesus. It's against the fluid in our body that makes us live hundreds and hundreds of years and makes us live as gods. This is the true resurrection. And when you fight the serpent, you fight your sexual urges, your sexual emotion, you can become a god. And this is why Hercules is fighting the serpent. Notice how the serpent is low. He's reaching down to it. It represents the lower self. Because the lower self wants the lust. It desires sex. The body desires sex. There's a fight between the higher and the lower self. But when there's balance, there's even. Heaven is even. When there's evenness between these, this is the kingdom of heaven. This is when heaven is on earth. That we are all the same intelligence, the same consciousness expressed in different bodies. When we all realize this, we all realize we're all one. Doesn't matter what race you are, where you're from, your nationality, because none of you are actually from here. None of you from the physical world. You're manipulating the physical world through the physical body.
Not to be able to think for themselves.
That's their problem. I'm sorry.
That is absolutely correct, and that's what we
have no, again, all I'm asking people is to believe in themselves first.
You know how
and if they cannot find themselves, then we cannot help them. God did not give us the job to be a missionary. We are not missionaries.
No.
People need to use common sense.
But we're born into a world where we're just trained. We're trained and we're programmed right from the moment that we're born. So we never really have that connection. We can never really find it within ourselves.